The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On September 14th and 15th, the StarCityGames.com Open Series comes to Atlanta, and this event is going to be huge. We're talking hundreds of players, a standard Open with $10,000 in prizes paid down to 64th place, a Legacy Open with $10,000 in prizes paid down to 64th place, at least 16 players qualifying for any of the next 4 StarCityGames.com invitationals, live coverage all weekend long courtesy of SCG Live, and as much Magic the Gathering as we can pack into one weekend. So make plans to join us when the StarCityGames.com Open Series comes to Atlanta, and we'll see you there. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Magic Show. Now, this week we're going over Theros spoilers. Hell yeah, Theros spoilers. We've been waiting, and right now we are washing new mechanics, new creatures, new creature types, and the super sparkly, starry things that they wield as they kick all the ass all over the plane. And I got my very own spoiler to kick it off. Let's check out Agent of the Fates. Go ahead. Feast your eyes, and so on and so forth. Now, first, we have a 3-2 for 3 with Death Touch. That's cool. But it's not the stats that make this card. It is the ability. Now, I'll be the first to raise an eyebrow at black creatures being heroic. But hey, even the underworld's got to believe in somebody. And the ability to make your opponent sacrifice a guy just for targeting your own with a beneficial spell and or enchantment. It's good times. Now remember Gatekeeper of Malakir? This creature reminds me a lot of him, but potentially way better. What you lose in an immediate sacrifice, you gain later in the ability to abuse the crap out of this ability. Now my favorite idea of what to do with old Agent of the Fates here is to simply wait for your opponent to try and kill him, and then voyages in him right back to your hand. Oh yeah, and Mr. Opponent, yeah, please sack a guy. Now the power of this guy ultimately lies in the hands of how powerful black spells are that target your own creatures and the related enchantments therein, but with the looks of things, and we'll get there, I don't think it's going to be too tough. I want to thank Wizards for the preview card, of course, but for now, let's start with the gods. Now, no Greco-Roman anything is worth its salt if it doesn't start and begin with those at the top. Now, we already knew they were made of star stuff, but this time, it's serious. These guys are all indestructible, all huge, all undercosted because they're not automatically creatures, and all provide some non-zero amount of sweet upside. The current leader is Perforos, the god of the forge. Sitting at a healthy $30 pre-order, his forge burneth strong as every single creature you put on the battlefield after him gets a mini Keldon Champion-esque push to your opponent's face. And when you're just sitting around with nothing to cast, well, why not pump the team? Pure fire breathing with 3 creatures and more value with more, his incidental value can creep up quickly. But the best part about these gods is that they are incidentally indestructible enchantments that, oh, I'm sorry, I just accidentally sixed you in the face. Devotion as a mechanic is a terrific fix for Chroma, a mechanic who was always a bit, awkward and weird at best, and these guys show just how incredibly flavorful and interesting Chroma can be. I mean, the whole damn set so far is just one big Hardee's commercial dripping with Greco-Roman sauce or whatever. Just imagine your opponent smugly drops the supreme verdict on you after you play Perforos. It's cool, no problem, I'll just play this Ash, sell it, and you'll take 2. Then I'll play this Chandra's Phoenix, and you'll take 2 more. And then I'm going to bash in with all 3 of these guys, and that's a total of 16. How does it taste? I bet it tastes so good, doesn't it? Damage to your face. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is magic. But we're just getting started. You know who I'm really digging? It's Heliod, God of the Sun. I know, he doesn't look all that great at first glance, but I assure you, this kick-ass mobilization that randomly 5/6s is some good. Why? Because it does what a control deck wants to do. It wants to play a card that is difficult to remove, provides long-term advantage, and randomly can win the game on its own. Imagine you drop a few detention spheres, Heliod and then Elspeth. Suddenly you have 3 1/1s on the table and a 5/6 indestructible ready to kick the ass of any before it. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not mention Elspeth better than Terrell, aka Sun's champion? Because this girl is sick. So very, very. Now for 6 mana, these walkers gotta be pretty damn sick to make it into constructed anything. But Elspeth comes out with a +1 to make 3 guys, which is pretty terrific by the time you reach 6 mana, and randomly wraths all the big stuff thereafter. Now in a world of indestructible gods, it's not always the best answer, but you gotta admit it's a terrific ability. As for her ultimate, I don't even know what I'm looking for in ultimates these days. I mean, do they just win or they just do something really cool or what? I mean, she gives you bonuses and evasion. I mean, that's great. That's a 6 mana Planeswalker's ultimate. Sure, whatever. In 99% of your games, ultimates never matter anyway, so it's all good. I mean, it's Elspeth, and she's good, and she's going to replace Elspeth Terrell in like every cube on the planet. So high five. But while we're on the subject of Planeswalkers, can I reveal my favorite so far? Because Ashiok Nightmare Weaver is so sick. There's a few things I like about him. Let's talk about it. And the first, in the plus column, he's a 3-mana planeswalker with 3 loyalty whose first ability immediately goes to 5. Yes! However, in the minus column, he can't protect himself. Oh. Now second, his plus ability puts him to a whopping 5 loyalty. Yeah! I mentioned that the first time. However, his second ability requires a whole bunch of loyalty to even work. Okay. But his first ability has to hit a creature of 5 or less, convert a mana cost for his second ability to even do anything. And his ultimate is a super identity crisis. Yeah, alright, seriously. Even though on raw stats the card's a bit iffy, let's break it down. Ashiok will be sick in control mirrors. Nephalia Drown Yard, here's the new one. When you're not worried about protecting him all the time, just letting him grow will let you go on and play their exiled Metamai the Ageless whenever you get around to it. But if you can get him down early and protect him, this guy has some serious upside. Now, Ashiok relies on a few things happening for him to be a force. Now, one, there needs to be some good removal out there, a la Tragic Slip that scales as the game goes onward, yet it's still cheap. 2, there needs to be a really sweet blocker that will be really tough to get rid of, ideally helps with the casting costs, like Sylvan Caryatid. Those who were looking for the new Farseek, here you go. It's fixing your mana, it's blocking all day, and it's going to need a sweeper to be answered. Green mages and big mana ramp players, this is the card for you. But back to Ashiok, I will say I think this has the most potential of any card spoiled so far. It could spawn archetypes that could lead the way to new exciting decks. Or it could just be the mill planeswalker who rocks only alongside the casual mind, funeral, and traumatized concoctions. We shall see. Now the third walker is arguably the best one in Xenagos the Reveler. He was straight out of Burning Tree Sun, and with his own mana and his own guys and a cool ultimate, I think one of the best comparisons for old Xenagos here is Garruk Wildspeaker. You see, Garruk made mana. Garruk made dudes. Garruk won Pro Tours. Well, all I know is the upside to Xenagos is pretty damn high, and with a few Elvish Mystics and Sylvan Caryatids, you could be looking at a lot of mana really quickly. Domri and Xenagos decks could be very well a thing from the get-go, but how will you deal with them? Why, there's Dreadbore of... Wait a minute. Wizards, did you go and juice something up all nice and make it rare? I can't hear you over the sound of all this money! Yeah, Wizards went there and they took Murder and they pushed it through the juicer, and here we have Hero's Downfall, aka Hoof It. Got a Planeswalker problem? You can hoof it. A scary creature comes along? You can hoof it. What? Oh, alright. So, about Thassa, God of the Sea. Scrying every turn is sick, no doubt about it. But Think Tank didn't exactly define a format, but Think Tank didn't turn into a 5/5 either. Now, my main issue is that giving unblockability has rarely been that good. Vincer's second ability looked powerful, and wasn't. And while I liked Thassa, and she's cool and all, have you seen Master of Waves? Now, this guy has potential. How ridiculously sick is this guy in Legacy Merfolk again? Well, no, wait a minute. Now, remember when I called Young Pyromancer for Legacy the instant it debuted, and Grixis Delver just, won a Legacy Open a few weeks ago? Master of Waves has incredible potential, and if you don't think an Aether Vial can't go to 4, you are crazy. Now, it won't be a 4 of All-Star like Pyromancer, but as a 1 of or a 2 of, I could see it. In Standard, it depends. This guy has a lot of, opportunity. I don't think Nightveil Spectre is really getting it done right now, but the hits keep coming. Have you seen Magma Jet? Oh yes, Magma Jet, sweet art upgrade complete. Hasn't seen print in almost 10 years, and here we are. Oh, boys and girls, if you haven't had the joy of Magma Jetting something and scrying away those 2 lands you didn't need to the bottom, you haven't lived. And Theros will let you live. Chained to the Rocks. Now, remember what I said about flavor in the commercial? Alright, flavor earlier? Because Chained to the Rocks is it's like wasabi. It's such a powerful, incredibly perfect top deck design. I don't even know what to say. Just hit you in the face with flavor. It's pow! It's beautiful. Now, what I will say is that Mountain You Control is some BS, y'all. I know, quote, it was annoying when Blue-White Control boarded them in versus Mono Red. Yeah, obviously, it's the point. I'm Blue-White Control. I'm supposed to annoy you. I'm like that big brother picking on my little prick sibling, Mono Red. But whatever, it's fine. The card remains terrific and is strangely terrible where it would be played as easiest. Legacy, your Plateau is just getting wastelanded, and in Modern, your Sacred Founder is just getting tech-edged. But hey, while in Standard, this thing's going to be sweet. The only real question was, why is this rare again? To which Watsy replied, shut up, I can't hear you over the sound of all this money. Speaking of money rares, you've seen Thoughtseize coming back, right? Yup, because the best card in Lorwyn, yes, The best one, shut up. You know it's true. And most likely, the best card in Theros. This card, I tell you, it spawned what I would consider one of the best Magic articles I've read all year from Reed Duke. If you ever wanted to know exactly why this guy is a champion, you should see how he breaks down Thoughtseize to its bare essentials. Is it powerful? Damn Skippy. Does it solve everything? It sure does. Does it disrupt just enough to stop a true combo deck from doing anything? Well, yeah. But does it suck late? You betcha. People play with it poorly all the time. But it remains a multi-format all-star that will never go out of style and throws a serious kink in almost any deck that relies on certain interactions to win. Now, speaking of powerful, have you seen Gift of Immortality? I'm sorry, what's that sound? Is that the sound of every modern and maybe a few legacy players puking in their soup over the idea that Geist of St. Traft and this card can exist together? Gross. But let's put the pedal down, shall we? Because Boone Satyr, aka Boone Goes the Dynamite, is a freaking badass up in here. Really? 4-2 flash for 1 green with absolutely no drawback? Peeps, that has literally never happened in Magic. We've got 3, count them, 3 4-2s for 3 mana in Magic, and they all suck. Hell, we've got 11 4-3s for 3 in Magic, and they all suck. All of them fraught with a bunch of awkward drawbacks and design constraints that old Boondock Saints here don't give a crap about. And Bestow, if you want to see a sick mechanic, you are looking at it. From the mind of Billy Moreno comes a mechanic so terrific. He took the worst of one world and the best of the other. He took the chocolate and the peanut butter and the sprinkles and the ice, and then Boone freaking Satyr. I know 5 mana for +4/+2 isn't exactly killing it when we've been spoiled by Gore clans rampaging their way across the metagame, but it's permanent, it will always hit, and in some form or fashion, thanks to a sweet mechanic. Now, Fleecemane Lion. It's like the Watch Wolf after he won 7 Tour de France titles. Oh, I'm sorry. Too soon? Seriously, this Lion is not playing around. Now, I love this guy so much, not just because he's powerful, but because he gives your opponent a really nice decision. Would you like me to create an enemy that you may not be able to do anything about? It might not be the biggest or the scariest. It might even not be the strongest, but it will be there for a long time. Let's say that there's that Supreme Verdict guy again. He's back at it. Turn 4, he destroys all your creatures. Turn 5, you play a Fleecemane Lion. And that's it. And here it is. The decision. Would your opponent like to kill the Lion now, either with another Supreme Verdict or Chain of the Rocks or Detention Sphere or whatever, or would they like to deal with this little kitty forever? Because this cat ain't playing around. It is also coincidentally in unflinching courage colors, meaning your days are numbered when a 6/6 trampling, lifelink, hexproof, indestructible machine of teeth and angry is coming for you and will kick your ass right proper. Rawr! I love it. A few final things before I go. The Scrylands, the new rare dual cycle, are awesome. Yes, you can bemoan their crazy rarity, but wait, what was that again, Wizards? I can't hear you over the sound of all. Great, but seriously, these things are incredibly awesome, and just remember, for those who keep the one Scryland hand and don't get there yet complain about it, well, they're Scry babies. And for the soundtrack, there's always the Justin Timberlake classic, Scry Me a River. Enjoy that. Reaper of the Wild is insanely pushed for a 4-mana dude, and Lolith Troll into Varals into Reaper is an actual curve that you should be very scared exists. With Putrefy and Golgari Charm and Abrupt Decay, kill that Scry one. Sacrifice this to Varal's Scry one. It's going to be very powerful. And those last 2 gods, Erebos needs some serious help I don't see him having right now, because Read the Bones is sweet, but it's just not enough, and Nylea, God of the Seal deck, looks like one of the most insane limited bombs ever. Good luck blocking ever. Lastly, did you see how Ashen Rider just played the anything you can do, I can do better game with Angel Despair? Because, well, it does it better in like every way. It's more expensive, sure, but if you're paying full price for Ashen Rider, you probably did something wrong. And Dissolve, hell yeah, Dissipate just got replaced by the Scrying Counterspell, so what? Control decks are rejoicing everywhere, and whew, all these previews, and we're still not done. This set is still to be spoiled. The set review with Brad Nelson is coming, and I can't wait for Theros. This set is fantastic. Would you not agree? So until our next episode, until the set review, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please comment, please like, please subscribe, because all that stuff makes me super happy, and I'm still making all these videos because you guys are awesome, and I appreciate it. And until next time, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
I always like the fatties.